All right, this is the Quiz 12, Chapter 22 review. All right, so a professor at a large university believes the students take an average of 15 credit hours per term. A random sample of 24 students in her class of 250 students reported the following number of credit hours that they were taking. Here's my data. So does the sample indicate that students are taking more credit hours than the professor believes? Test an appropriate hypothesis and find your conclusion. All right, so step one, we're going to write our hypothesis. Okay, so I think my null hypothesis is going to be that the average credit hours is 15. We are testing. Our alternate hypothesis is that a professor believes, let's see here, taking more. So this is going to be mu is greater than 15. All right, step two, we're going to go ahead and use our model. Okay, so do we have a random sample? All right, let's check here. So a random sample, check. 10%. All right, 24 out of 250, right? So 24 is less than 25. Check. All right, nearly normal. Well, I need to plug my data in to check that. So I'm going to go to Stat, and I'm going to go to Edit. And I'm going to go to clear my lists. All right, and then I'm going to enter my data. So I have 12. All right, let me just enter my data here. So 12. All right, I have 13, I have 14, 14, I have 15, 15, 15. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 16s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 3 17s, 4 18s, 3 19s, a 20, and a 21. All right, so there are my data in. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph the histogram to see how it looks. So I'm going to go to second stat plot. I'm going to turn plot 1 on, and I'm going to make it a histogram. Let's just check that out. L1, okay. I'm going to check y equals, make sure I have nothing typed in there. Looks good, and only plot 1's turned on. Zoom option number 9. All right, looks good. Unimodal, about, and roughly symmetric. So I'll go with that. I'm going to copy my screen here. So let me copy that. All right, copy screenshot, and let me go over here, and let me just paste that in here. All right, copy, and then come over here and paste it. There we go. So there we go. My nearly normal is checked. We have done my histogram, and it looks nearly normal. Now, I could do my normal probability plot just to check it. Okay, so again, I could go to second stat plot. And instead of doing a histogram, I could go down and I could pick this last option, which is the normal probability plot. And we want up L1, everything looks good, hit zoom number 9, and we're looking for a relatively straight line. Bingo, looks good to me. So all conditions are met. All right, so all conditions are met. Are met. Okay, I'm going to use a student's t-distribution with t sub 23, that's n minus 1, with a mean of 15, and a standard deviation that I don't know yet. Okay, so I'm going to save a little bit of time here and fill that in a second. Divided by the square root of 24. Okay, and I'm going to do a one sample t-test. Okay, so now I'm going to go to stat, and I'm going to go to my tests, and I'm going to go to t-test, option number 2. I have my data. My mean is 15. It's in L1, and I want greater than, and I want to hit calculate. So notice I get my standard deviation, so I can plug that in up here, 2.22. Okay, so there is my distribution I'm using. There's my test I'm calling. Okay, so I'm going to write my t critical value. You should always write that where possible. Okay, my p-value, you can write that, 3.58, the probability, which is your p-value, that t is greater than or equal to 3.58, t sub 23, and that is going to equal 0.0008. Okay, that's when you move the decimal place over 4 points. Okay, and then our conclusion is going to be since the p-value is so small, I reject H naught. There is enough evidence to conclude that the professor's students are taking more than 15 credit hours. Bingo. All right, now do a 95% confidence interval. All right, conditions are met above. We'll do a one sample t interval. Now the cool news is everything's already saved. You go to stat, you go to tests, you go down to t interval, which is option number 8. You have your data, it's already at 95%. Hit calculate, and then your interval is going to be 15.686 to 17.564. Okay, so you would say we are, or I am, 95% confident that the professor's students true mean credit hours is between 15.686 and 17.564. Done. And there's the full nice worked out on your review answer sheet. Beautiful. And again, I did all the formulas that you needed if you wanted to do everything by hand, or you can do it on the calculator.